Welcome back. It's Let's Talk Business. I'm Steve Walling, and for this segment, man, have I got somebody here. Ken McCoy, photojournalist.
Steve, how you doing,
man
man?
of the world. Tell me about it, guy.
Fun.
Yeah.
34-year photojournalist.
Uh-huh.
I've worked for all the major magazines, UPI, AP, Newsweek. I've covered major stories, major celebrities, major events, Grammys, Oscars, American Music Awards, BET. I've covered it. And I also lecture and teach people how to do what I do, as well as teach people how to make money with photography.
Cool. Now you got a school.
Yes, Weiser McCoy School of Digital Photography, located in Manchester Mall.
All right. Now you've been 34 years.
Yes.
How did you get into it, man? I mean, this is what a life.
Actually, I just got back from New York and Washington, D.C. I started in Washington, D.C.
Yeah?
I knew that I had a vision. I knew I could put my perspective on paper. At that time, I had no knowledge of a camera, but I knew I had a vision. So I basically merged what I knew with technology at the time. So basically, that's what prompted me to know that I wanted to work for myself, do creative things, and have a lot of fun and show my passion.
Well, that's great. Now, when you got into photography, that was back in the days when you had to develop your...
That was development, film, Minolta camera. And so one of the pictures that I have on the screen somewhere in here is a black and white. This particular picture I shot in San Francisco with a 75-year-old camera.
Wow.
So this camera was a Bronica 2 1/4, and it was just something that I saw walking out of a hotel. No Photoshop, none of that. It was just something that I saw and I wanted to present.
And you were talking before we went on the air that you do a lot of your stuff without Photoshop, don't you?
Yeah, I don't use any Photoshop.
You
The only time I use Photoshop is for captioning, because I have a saying, without a caption, there's no cash.
Yeah. You know, that's true.
Come on, y'all. Anyway, no, I'm serious.
Hey, look, you go on the internet, you know, you want an image, you
That's
go
right. And they pay me, and I syndicate my images. So most of my images are worldwide. So most of the people on Facebook won't see any of my photos.
Right.
They will see them through an agency. So they can't just right-click and save my images, because that's copyright infringement.
Right, it is.
And I teach that. So.
And a lot of people don't understand when they're copying stuff off the internet. You know, they want a photo for this or whatever. That oftentimes, I mean, some people put stuff up.
Right.
You know?
That is called Creative Commons.
Right.
That's a common interest image that people can have, and it's no problem.
Right.
However, if it's copywritten, that's owned.
Professional.
Definitely.
You know, and that's a lot of people don't understand. I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a very important point in today's world of technology. You know, we start off talking about you doing film photography.
Yes.
Now you're doing digital photography.
Yes.
What kind of equipment do you use?
I use all types. I have Bronica, I have 2 1/4, 3 1/4, I have digital, I have GoPro. Matter of fact, there's another image on the screen, if we could put this one up. This particular image was shot with a 2-inch by 2-inch camera in New York just last week.
Oh.
And there was no focusing, no positioning, no look through the lens. You just simply shot because you knew perspective. And I wanted to do something to kind of illustrate knowing your craft. It's not just taking the camera, turning it on, and shooting in automatic. I teach people about those different rules of photography. And it's important that if you have that investment, you know how to capitalize on that investment and maximize your money.
Ken, for somebody getting into the field of photography, a young man or young lady that, you know, watch this Ken guy, man, he's doing all this great stuff. What's your advice that you would give to somebody right at the start?
Study your camera. Spend the midnight, I always tell my freelancers, spend the midnight oil knowing your camera forwards and backwards, how to take the lens off, how to put it back on, how to protect your gear, what is your backup. If you go to an event site, survey the event site. If you're dealing in business, make sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. I can't tell you enough how important that is. Photography's fun, it is passionate, but trust me, I need to get paid for what I do.
It's a business, too.
It is a business.
Yeah, cool. What has been your most challenging thing that you worked on?
I was hoping you didn't ask me that. Can I show you another image? I think I have another image. This particular image was in San Francisco, black and white.
Right.
Black and white really tells you the essence of the scene. And people don't understand it gets heavier than that, but the essence of the scene. There's so many dynamics in a photo, and a lot of times you have to paint with light, and that's what photography is, painting with light. So to ask me my biggest challenge, one time I was covering the President George Bush. I was at the airport, And I was borrowing my mother-in-law's car, and I tried to turn my car around because she had wrecked it in the front. I didn't want anybody to see, but Secret Service directed me to turn the car in the front. So as I'm in the car, I wanted to turn the air conditioner on. It was hot, and I didn't want to get out the car at the time. Turned the air conditioner on. It started smoking. It was very embarrassing, but luckily they did not see that. But the point was, is Secret Service knew that I was there about my business. I was credentialed. So when you cover events, you are credentialed. You don't just show up. I'm not a paparazzi, and I want people to understand I don't just show up. Okay, I'm credentialed. My name's on the list. That's the way it works. So it is a business factor. I've had many challenges, and one of the biggest ones, Steve, was an emotional challenge where you cover an event that's not as a happy-go-lucky event, and you're feeling all the emotions of the family or the event or how much of a spectacle it is. Those are the ones that really strike you. But I always say you have to keep that hat on of why you're there first. Cry in your car. You understand? It's that important.
Oh, man. What a deal.
Now I have to show you this picture.
Okay,
he queued it up. I have to show my wife. This is the picture of my wife.
There you go. Most important picture
come
of the day.
Come on. Anyway, we shot this in L.A. at BET Weekend.
Okay.
I just wanted to do one of those shoots of your wife in downtown L.A. just because. There was no real reason, just because. And those are called self-directed assignments. And so I teach people that there are grants and scholarships and foundations for people with a vision.
Okay, so it's not, if there's a young person, maybe even not so young a person that decides they want to get into this, there's a whole bunch of stuff in place, resources.
I want to say this. I do with our school a lot of work with the veterans. Okay, and that is post-secondary learning, but actually also post-traumatic stress training, so they could take their minds off of what happened. We teach them how to paint with light. I've worked with kindergartners to veterans in photography. So when my number's there, people can email me, call me, and get registered for any of the classes that I do. At the same time, learn how to do it the proper way.
Where's that number at?
The number should be on the screen here somewhere.
Okay.
He's putting it up, but they can
You
call
got a
me.
web page?
They can Google my name. I have several web pages.
Okay. Ken McCoy.
That's it.
Okay, that's it.
That's it. I have several websites that they can look up. Ken McCoy Photo Reflect, Ken McCoy Studio, Ken McCoy Blog. They could just find me. The point is this is a technological age. People can quickly Google people.
Right.
I'm on Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter.
You're all hooked up.
I'm there, man. I'm there.
Well, that's
Find
great.
me.
So where are you going from here? I mean, what's in Ken McCoy's future?
That is a great. Well, we're doing a holiday party for photographers December 3rd at the studio.
At the studio, okay.
At Studio 6 to 8. A meet and greet, show some photos from New York. I went to the 9/11 Museum. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And I have exclusive photos that I will be showing that night. Plus, we're going to have a little bit of gumbo and a little music. And so that's what we do for our students and former students.
Oh, that's
and
great.
Welcoming people to the photographic realm.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, listen, we're going to have to get together and talk some more, my friend. You got some good.
Okay,
I
tell you what. If we get together, I have some stories for you.
All right.
I have some stories about a Bass Lake cake dog that ate the cake, and they hid the dog on the 3rd floor because they didn't want the people to see. Anyway, I have too many stories, but
Ken,
we could definitely get together.
Good deal.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you for being on the show.
I appreciate it.
What a life. Living your passion. That's great.
It is,
stuff.
and I appreciate it. I'm thankful.
All right. Well, we're going to head to our break, and we'll see you when we come back.